Success and equity. You'll find them at BC. Success is what you want. Equity is when we give you the tools and help to get that success. It doesn't matter who you were before. We're here to level the playing field and create a fair world where you can succeed no matter who you are, what you look like, or where you were before. We'll tell you how on BC TV.
And now your host, Francis Mayer.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Success and Equity on BC TV. I'm your host, Francis Mayer, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most exciting things happening on that wonderful campus at 1801 Panorama. It is our STEM program, and we've brought a special person here to tell us what that means. We've got some new facilities coming, don't we?
Yes, we do. It's very exciting.
And also exciting is your name.
My name is Yadira Guerrero, and I'm the STEM program manager. No
yes,
problem.
You are, and STEM has, well, I guess it could have something to do with plants. There are bioengineers, but what does STEM stand for?
STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math.
Okay, and from my understanding, the United States has fallen behind a little bit when it comes to producing engineers. We didn't focus on that enough, and technology is not a passing fad. This
Correct.
is the future.
I think it's here to stay.
Yes, I believe you're correct. So what are we doing at BC to encourage that?
So we have a program that kind of encompasses all of the STEM disciplines. Like you said, biology is one of them. And what we actually have extra resources for those students that are STEM majors. So we usually go by your majors. And one of our kind of big additions that's coming up is going to be our STEM Center. The STEM Center is going to make it a lot easier for students to access those resources. They'll be able to come into one place, one physical building that says STEM on it. It's very clearly outlined. And they can see a counselor that can help them stay on track. They can also to kind of explore what their possibilities are. What major would you like to be? What kind of an engineer would you like to be? There are so many different kinds.
And there are. And let's talk about that
Sure.
for just a minute. My wife is actually an engineer. When I first met her and she said she was an engineer, I was like, so... Like, you never grew out of the train phase then?
You
and
build
she was
stuff?
like, yeah, are you a stupid person? Like, well, kind of. I thought she meant, like, engineer on a train.
Yeah, I guess that's one.
And I was like, you look so cute in that little cap. Okay, first of all, I guess modern engineers don't wear the little hat.
Yeah.
And an engineer is somebody who figures out how things work.
Right.
And makes things work together.
Solving problems to kind of make humans' lives easier, I think, is
Yeah, absolutely.
the way I would describe it. Mm-hmm.
That's a great way to describe it. And from what you're saying, we're going to offer a lot of support and help. Why do STEM students need support and help?
Well, all students need support and help.
Sure.
But now, since we kind of have this really great STEM program, and it's been sweeping the nation for some time now, I think it's just kind of an easier way to specialize those resources for those STEM students. It can be overwhelming, the whole college experience. There's so many opportunities and so many possibilities. I think that it's just important for really any major to kind of, get that together and make it a little easier to access for students. So that's what we do. And this whole building is going to have the counselor. There's a STEM, it's actually a CSUB employee that's like a mentor, a transfer mentor for students so that they're on track to transfer to a 4-year institution. So that's really important too, staying on track, making sure that you're moving in a timely manner too, because school does cost money.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to get out in the workforce as soon as possible. You don't want to get discouraged spending, 6, 7, 8 years in college. I think sometimes that can be really discouraging to students.
Right, and to be absolutely clear also, there are great financial rewards for people who do complete a Bachelor of Science in an engineering discipline.
Absolutely.
This is not one of those degrees that isn't going to pay for itself.
Right.
Oh, it'll pay for itself.
Right, absolutely.
However, it is intellectually rigorous.
It is. In fact, our STEM program is mostly the courses that kind of are included within our STEM program are calculus-based. So that's not so easy.
No.
But there are a lot of resources. We do have tutoring that's of no cost to our students. Actually, it's really great because all of our tutors that we have under the STEM program, they are employees. They do get paid for that, and they have to be referred by an instructor. So one of the professors will say, hey, you know, this kid is great, I'd like to refer them, and then we hire them, and that's for that specific class that they're taking. So you know that it's going to be applicable to, you know, your upcoming test or whatever it is that you're covering in that class. This person has taken the test, they've been okayed by the instructor. So it's, I think, a little bit higher quality tutoring than maybe some students have seen in the past.
Well, they certainly have a lot to look forward to then. And when we say students, we mean all students, because my understanding, I did some research before you came on the show, is that a lot of companies that are hiring engineers out of college, for a number of reasons, they want a more diverse workforce. You said engineering is all about problem solving, and a lot of times it's working in groups, and what they don't want is a homogenous group.
Correct.
They want people from different cultures, different backgrounds, to bring those thought processes into solving the great problems that the future holds, like you know, making better use of our energy resources and things like that. Have you encountered that this is a pretty diverse student pool that's heading towards STEM?
Absolutely. We actually do, you know, we're constantly kind of looking at numbers and things that aren't too terribly I guess, interesting to some people. We're constantly looking at these numbers, and
I'm
they're
interested.
fascinating. You get to see exactly, you know, who's being underrepresented, and how can we change that? This is Kern County, and we're, you know, just a melting pot here. So I think it's
Truly.
important for, especially universities, to represent that community. And Bakersfield College is doing a great job of that. Absolutely.
No, I am incredibly proud of the institution. It does things all the time to make all of us proud. But this is also a matter of national security, quite frankly. We need more American students to get into the engineering and really the STEM disciplines, so that we don't have to count on other countries to produce engineers for us. Because that's kind of what we're up against here, you know, and I am so happy that BC is supporting that. Who has been a friend to us as far as building new facilities? That does not come cheap, and the things you're talking about don't happen magically or for free.
No, they don't. Well, the STEM Center actually, we got this wonderful grant from the state, and we've actually been using that for a lot of the tutoring, you know, to hire students, things like that. Funding for the classrooms as well, supplies, and the STEM Center actually we got a huge donation from ERA. So they have been wonderful. ERA is great in the community, throughout the community.
Absolutely.
And then we also have these camps coming up in the summertime that are being funded by Chevron. So Chevron, we're very grateful to them as well. And the camps are going to be for junior high students. So that's going to be a lot of fun for the students to see, oh, wow, this is what college is like. It's a sneak peek, you know, and they should be thinking about that before they get to high school, that, you know, it's not really a question of, am I going to college? It's, oh, college is right there. I've already been there once in the summertime. So I'll go to BC, you know, or I'll go to Cal State, or I'll go to anywhere, really. So we're going to start exposing them early, thanks to Chevron.
No, that's awesome. And speaking of what to expect at college, listening to some of my wife's stories about her experience at a science and technology school, it made me jealous. I guess I thought it was like, I don't know, a lot of chalkboards, but I had a chance with you know, formulas and stuff on them. But I had a chance to visit her campus during a recruiting event. And I was shocked at how much fun stuff the STEM kids do. They had a indestructible coffee cup competition where these advanced ceramic students were making these, I don't know, ceramic compounds that you could drop a coffee cup from a 4th-story window and it would survive the fall. They also had a solar couch racing competition where they took couches, old, disgusting couches that you would only find in, you know, a fraternity house, and put wheels and solar panels on them, and then they race across the quad. There's a lot of fun to be had.
Right.
They are making things.
It's all very hands-on.
Yes.
That is, I mean, it has to be, or it's not STEM, is kind of the way that I see it.
For sure.
So we do have a lot of that in all of our BC courses, actually. We also, the camps that we're doing, the junior high camps, that's kind of what we're showing the students is, I think it's important to, people talk about this funk that the education system is in, you know, a lot of sitting quietly in class and just, there's no transfer of knowledge, you know. I don't know if I completely agree with that, but I do know that you can always make it more fun. There's no limit to it. And I think that it's contagious, that kind of creativity. So just these hands-on projects tend to do that. These students get, really into it. They get kind of addicted to it. And then there's really no limit to what they can do. So everything we do is very hands-on. We're going to be having drones for our summer camp, robotics, which is very popular. We're doing 3D printing, all the things that, like you said, all the technology especially. But not just technology, a lot of the building, things like that, you're just working with your hands. And then you take it to the next level and you add that technology component to it. So absolutely.
Well, and right now in the 2000s and even, in the last millennium, STEM folks are the new rock stars.
Yes.
Steve Jobs, although he didn't finish college, he was a technology guy. He changed the way we live.
Absolutely.
Steve Wozniak, his partner, was a computer engineer. And actually, there's a big distinction in Silicon Valley. You're not allowed to call yourself an engineer unless you got an engineering degree.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just a dude. You're a tech guy.
You're just a guy.
But they have a lot of pride in that. Gates, all of these guys, Elon Musk, all the folks who are doing incredible stuff up at the Mojave Spaceport and might bring space travel. You and I might get a chance to see Earth from space. That's absolutely incredible. Right. And once we get over our fear of flying, but that's another story for another day. Today's rock stars, in many instances, are STEM folks.
Absolutely.
And we might have the next Steve Jobs or Steve Wozniak or Bill Gates up on the BC campus, and we're so happy that we're cultivating an environment where that's going to be possible. Real quickly, we've got to go to break soon, but tell us about that. There's another program that's going to help folks just be comfortable for their long days on campus, and that's going to allow them to heat up food from home and do all kinds of stuff. What is that called?
Yes, Mesa?
Yes.
Yes, we do have a program on campus. It's called Mesa, and it is part of the STEM, kind of under the STEM umbrella.
Sure.
And it's a very specific population of our students. What's great about Mesa, so many great things about Mesa, but Mesa students tend to, you're trying to save as much as you can when you're in college. I know I did. Most of us did. And things like bringing your lunch to school really help you save a little bit here and there. So Mesa students, one of the really great things within the STEM Center, Mesa will also be housed in the STEM Center, is they have their own kitchen. They'll be printing for free out of the STEM. Yeah, so that's, you save a lot of money on that.
I totally remember realizing that I was by the number of prints that I had to make on a big paper. I was like, oh, it's a ramen night.
I know. And we have so many programs where you can just save on top of the free tutoring, things like that. We're going to be having a 4-year program, actually, where you can fully graduate. You don't have to transfer to a 4-year institution at BC. So that's going to be really exciting. That's starting in the fall. And what will you
get? You'll get a bachelor's degree?
You'll get your bachelor's degree. Absolutely. It's going to be for automation.
Yeah, which is huge. We're not saying the entire campus is switching over to being a 4-year program, but this, folks, is tremendous news.
It's really
incredible.
Great.
And we're going to be enriching the workforce and making Kern County, we're already on the next horizon. We have the private spaceport here, and this is a tech community. The type of recovery strategies that they're using in our oil fields are utilizing advanced levels of knowledge, and it's making the world a better place to live. So if you want to be a part of that revolution, this tech revolution that is still continuing every day, you could do it at 1801 Panorama at the Bakersfield College campus. That future's waiting for you right up there. Mesa and STEM. Check them out at bakersfieldcollege.edu. We'll be right back. We're going to check in with some members of student government next on Success and Equity on BCTV.